Thank you, Mr. Chairman. In fact, I want to specifically thank you, Chairman Graham, as well as Ranking Member Leahy, for convening this hearing and for assembling these important ambassadors and foreign minister from vital European allies of ours and focusing us in a bipartisan way on how we can confront Russian aggression together. And I'm encouraged by your call that we create a counter-Russia account specifically to strengthen our allied and partner democracies. This week is the 150th anniversary of the creation of this committee in the United States Senate, something that showed, I think, the wisdom of the founders in recognizing that having a strong hand for the Senate in the shaping of our investment overseas was something that has enduring relevance. I joined my colleague on this subcommittee, Senator Marco Rubio of Florida, last week in a bipartisan speech on the floor of Congress about the importance of countering Russian aggression. And we reviewed many of the issues that were raised by the witnesses today based on trips that each of us have taken to your various countries to hear from you directly about hybrid warfare, about the illegal and inappropriate invasion and annexation of Crimea and the ongoing conflict in eastern Ukraine, about the importance of our standing in solidarity with our allies in Poland and the Baltic states, the real challenges that Georgia has faced since it was the first of you to be illegally invaded and to have some of its territory occupied in an ongoing disruptive way. I just want to mention two bills here in the Senate that have already garnered bipartisan support for those who have any concern about the absence of bipartisanship here. The Counteracting Russian Hostilities Act has 10 Republicans and 10 Democrats co-sponsoring it. It would make Russia pay the price for its illegal annexation of Crimea, for the ongoing violence in eastern Ukraine, for their support of Assad's murderous regime in Syria, and their meddling in our own American elections last November. The other bill led by Senator Graham, the Russia Review Act, would make certain that Congress has to weigh in before sanctions against Russia could be waived. And I'm proud to be a co-sponsor, as are many on this subcommittee, of these bills. We continue to believe that the transatlantic alliance is absolutely essential. It's a force for stability in the world to maintain the world order that we worked together to build over the last 7 decades. So let me ask a few questions, if I might. There's been a rumored proposal by the administration to cut by as much as 37% our State Department and USAID, which are essential for the funding of many of the programs that we've been talking about. What would the absence of American leadership in this area mean for your countries? Would you feel safer in the face of an aggressive Russia if we were to cut back on programs we've just discussed, like Radio Free Europe, Radio Liberty, programs that support your resilience, both in terms of your governance and democracy institutions and in terms of our sustainment of some of the development initiatives? Would any of you care to speak to that question? Please, Mr. Ambassador.
Senator Coons, I think this is just a rhetorical question.
Yes.
The question, we will not feel safer when you know, the budget for such projects will be essentially cut. So we hope that it's just a kind of deliberation, kind of, you know, tweeting, not really a decision, because this sounds very dangerous, but we hope that, you know, it still can be changed, and people who think this way will change their minds, because American leadership in this region is essential, and you know this very well, that there is a great support for American leadership in this part of Europe, maybe more than in other parts of Europe. So we really rely as countries of the region on firm American leadership.
I heard in several visits by my colleagues and a visit I took last August about the importance of our strengthening our investment in countering Russia Today, Sputnik, and other propaganda outlets. You referenced, Mr. Ambassador, the broadcasting from from Latvia, both for Voice of America, Radio Free Europe, and Radio Liberty. Yes, my vision is not so good. That is very tiny print. Tell me how Russian propaganda operations are affecting your country and how we might strengthen and expand our investment in counter-Russian propaganda operations that would be more effective.
Well, to give a short answer, probably we are less concerned in Latvia about Russia Today, because Russia Today is well, programs of Russia Today are being broadcasted in English. well, Russia has all the opportunities to broadcast in Russian their major TV channels, and that's what Russia is doing. And well, Latvia's democratic country is not putting any barriers to free speech, to free broadcasting. Well, at the same time, we are aware about the content of these programs, and what is essential is to give an alternative to different sources, to reliable sources, and to give an alternative of broadcasting in Russian, to be understandable, but to be objective, reliable, and different from those major TV channels broadcasted from Russia.
One last question, Mr. Chairman, just to the ambassador from Georgia. I understand that OPEC has helped make possible significant programs in Georgia over the last 20 years in modernizing industries and in agriculture. Can you comment at all on the value of OPEC in helping make possible mutually beneficial programs in Georgia?
There are several programs that OPEC has implemented in Georgia, which is really productive, not only for developing Georgia, modernizing its economic potential, but is also beneficial for both sides. And therefore, in that regard, I can provide in more detailed way for the submit in a written way more detailed information.
Terrific. Thank you, Mr. Ambassador. Thank you, Mr. Chairman, for your